So for chapter 17, we are dealing with authentication, authorization, permissions, schemas, and roles. And what we're going to do is start off by creating a little test database that we're going to use to basically practice setting up security and different roles for users. So we're going to go ahead and put in task 1 up here in the comments. And then we're going to create a database that we're going to call test. Then we're going to use the test database, and we're going to be copying tables from the examples database. And because we are putting the tables into test and we are copying from a completely different database, we have to use the fully qualified database name. So we're doing a select into, and the name of the table is employees, and it's coming from the examples database, DBO schema, employees table. And then we're going to select into a departments table, and that is coming from the examples database, DBO schema, departments table. Okay. And this is the fully qualified name. So when you have database, schema, table, that is a fully qualified name. So we're going to go ahead and run this. And it has created the database, and it has copied the various tables into the new tables that are in our database. And if I do a little refresh over here, and we scroll down, we can see our new test database with all of the tables. So I'm going to move that closing comment down. So now that we have a test database to play with, we can create logins for 3 users. And these 3 users are going to help with testing the database. So the first user that we need to create a login for is Sierra Andrews. And we're going to use the create login command. And the login is for Sierra Andrews. And then we are going to be setting a password. And we're also going to be specifying the database that Sierra is going to be using. So we use create login. Okay, so this is our username with this password, and the database is test. We'll go ahead and execute. And now we basically need to do the same thing for Lucy Ling and Peter Sullivan. So I'm going to copy this. And we'll paste it twice, and then I'm going to move that closing comment down. And now I'm doing one for Lucy Ling. And I've got Peter Sullivan. And we just can make up the password. You guys can use pretty much whatever you want. I'm actually going to try to keep this fairly simple. And the database they're going to be using is the test database. And maybe I will make this a little harder. All right, I'm going to go ahead and execute. Okay, and so now I should have my 3 users that have access to the test database. So I'm going to move that closing comment down. And our next little scenario is Sierra, Lucy, and Peter have complained that their usernames are too long. So we're going to make our coworkers happy, and we're going to shorten their usernames. And we're going to put this inside a transaction. So we're going to be using a try and catch, and inside the try is where we're going to begin the transaction, and inside the catch is where we're going to have the rollback code. So we got the begin try and the end try. You'll notice we have a begin transaction and a commit, and we're altering the logins. So we got Sierra Andrews, and we're just shortening it to all lowercase Sierra. Lucy Ling, we're just using Lucy's last name, Ling. And then for Peter Sullivan, we are shortening it to Peter. If all of that works, we commit it. If it doesn't, then we are going to print a little error message. We're rolling back, and then we're going to actually print the error message out itself. So let's go ahead and run this. And I'm not sure if you guys are getting an error on Ling. I've already done this before, so maybe that's why I have the error. I'm going to change this. And I'm going to change it to Lucy. We'll see if that works. Now, if Ling worked for you, great, keep it. Otherwise, now I'm getting an error on Peter. All right, so we'll call him Sully. Let's see if that works. Okay, so if you get errors, you are probably going to have to do some modifying until it goes through. If it goes through the first try, awesome. If it doesn't, make a few little modifications. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and save. And let's see, we are going to call this Chapter 17 Textbook Assignment. And then we are going to move our closing comment down. And we're moving on to our next scenario. So Sierra has been moved to a different project and will no longer be testing our test database. So we need to remove her from the system. So we are going to execute the drop login command. And the login that we are going to be dropping is the one with the new shortened name. So it is Sierra. And let's go ahead and execute that. So now Sierra is no more. And that does complete task number 1.